Yeah, I just wanted to correct the historical record. I actually wrote a book about this. It's kind of my subject matter expertise. It's actually a very commonly held myth that women were somehow never allowed to like learn how to read or write or work or do things. It's actually not true. There's a whole chapter in my book on it, but you can go back to the Middle Ages, and there were women like Christine de Pizan who were, full time employed writers and workers for the French court. It's just that throughout history, it was much less likely that women went into these things because there wasn't birth control. Most of them got married and had children. It was a time where you needed, security because of it. We didn't have this modern, technologically advanced world that allows women to believe that they are the same as men. If that makes sense.
Also, I just wanted to quickly tell you on the GSU study, the authors stressed their study did not assess a relationship between women and their perpetrators. They emphasized it's unclear who the women were victimized by, and that it would be unjustified to draw any conclusions about their male peers majoring in STEM fields. Meaning that even if it's true that women inside of STEM fields do get essayed or assaulted in some way like that, more likely that may not have anything to do with the fact that they have male peers in the STEM field. So they could be this could be happening to them
I mean,
due to
men are
some
more
other
likely
correlation.
to essay or unalive a women than women are.
Well, actually, that's also not true, and I can give you the stats on that as well. It depends on how you define essay. That's why it's so important.
Please do.
Yeah. So you can find this. I can. I don't know where I can link this for you exactly, but I
You
can.
have to do it probably in the bottom
I
chat.
wouldn't link it in comments. TikTok.
Oh, okay. Well, if you DM me on Twitter, I can send it over to you. But the reason I would dispute those stats is because, again, of what is considered essay by men versus what is considered essay by women. Some of the studies actually will define it that essay is not actually allowed to be unless it's penetrative, meaning that a woman could actually a man and it wouldn't be counted.
Well, according to this, it literally sticks to grapes.
There's multiple forms of essay.
Yeah, I agree, but that's why it's important that we understand what
saying. Oh, you keep saying a man's definition versus a woman's definition. What do
no,
you mean?
it's not a man or a woman's definition. It would be the definition inside of the study of how they're.
So the particular one that I'm looking at, the one that I'm particularly looking at, it just talks about according to this.
Yeah, but it's how they define what that is that matters. If it's penetrative, non-penetrative, what is it?
So essay is different from
a. Okay, but
it falls under the.
Listen, I completely would agree with you that they're totally different things, but that doesn't mean they're the way we would them in the study. That's why I'm asking. But the study I just gave you that the authors also stressed in that very same study that they did not a relationship between the women and their perpetrators, meaning it might have had nothing to do with their male colleagues in the STEM fields when it came to. So that would blow your argument out. It could be a totally different. Yes, it could. It could be a totally different. Like, for instance, it could be that women in STEM fields just pick really bad men. There's something about it that makes them pick bad men or bad boys. We don't know what the corollary or the correlatory here is.
Wait. So you think that the majority of these instances?
No. Did I say I think that, or did I say that the study itself? The study itself tells you not to draw conclusions. That's what it's saying to you. Don't draw conclusions because we have not studied the linkage between the men in the STEM field and the possibility of whatever they're doing to the women in the STEM field.
Yeah, but I think that it's talking about a specific topic of not drawing conclusions.
Well, Andrew makes a great point, but it's also kind of beside the point because if we ask about the prompt, if men figured out a way to reproduce without women, they could run the world exactly as it is now, probably better without a single woman. And if women figured out how to reproduce without men, everybody would still die within a few months.
I don't know how you
men
can
do not depend on women, and women do absolutely depend on men. And it's only technology created and sustained by men that gives you guys this idea that you don't need men.
Rachel, I don't know where you came to that conclusion. Like, how did you come to that conclusion? I'm sorry, did
you guys muted her? You have to not mute people.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
We didn't mute her.
I don't have that ability.
We did not mute her.
I didn't mute myself. So
Yeah,
Yes,
somebody
you
muted
did.
her. Yeah, right. One of you muted her. Give me a
explain.
break.
Yeah.
Nah,
so I can
Andrew,
I didn't mute her.
I just said
Do you want
that
me to explain?
no one in the
I don't
panel
care if
muted
you
her,
do.
and if
I
there's a
would.
mod in here, to please not mute her. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I'll explain. Who builds and maintains all critical infrastructure for the whole entire world? Every
There's
road,
both men
every
and women who
satellite,
do.
every hospital, the power grid, the roads, every
men and women do
critical
that.
infrastructure.
No,
is
there's
built
almost
by
no
men
women who
and
do that.
maintained by men.
Almost no
less
women.
than it's less
So,
than 2%.
have you worked
It's
in the
less
plants?
than 2%.
It's less than 2%. We have the stats.
Okay, yeah,
Women
but
cannot
this is
do
but
it.
hold on.
Women
This is the
cannot
thing.
do it, sir.
Listen. The thing is they are doing it. There's 2% of women doing it. So
No,
in your
there's not
scenario
enough.
where
Listen,
if your
there's
scenario
not
where
enough women who are physically capable of maintaining critical infrastructure over a long period of time. When you see the stat that 2% of women work in infrastructure, those women have support jobs. They cannot do. Have you ever seen the guys that work oil rigs? Have you ever seen the guys that are power
women
linemen?
who do it too.
No, there are
women
not.
that do it
They
too.
physically
Yes, they are.
physically cannot work
No,
the
as a matter of
derricks
fact,
on an
so
oil rig. They cannot
Rachel,
do it.
Rachel,
Do you
Rachel,
think
have
that
you
women
seen
have
Rachel?
the same capability as men?
Rachel,
That's absurd.
Rachel, did
You're
you see
absurd.
do you remember that video that went around where you see the man who's all covered in the gunk and muck and whatnot doing the oil rig stuff? Yes. They've also shared videos of women doing the exact same job, doing it much cleaner, much healthier.
First of all, it's not 2% of women.
There's a tiny amount of women who
See, she just got muted. You just muted us both.
Whoever muted her,
just muted us both.
Stop. Yeah.
Maybe some of the mods are trying to look at your profile because B said that she accidentally muted you.
Can you guys let Hammy speak? Can you let Hammy speak? Because you guys keep speaking over
He was obviously raised by a single mom.
Okay, but anyway, I was just pointing out.
My dad in my life.
Wait,
well, look, I was just pointing out.
Weekends?
Yeah, I was just pointing out though.
No, my dad was in my life quite often. Thank you very much.
Okay, but anyway, I was just pointing.
Well, no, hold on.
What is it?
He didn't live with you.
I'm fine
in your life quite often, but he didn't live with you. And your mommy trained you to defend women. Your mommy trained you that women can do anything a man can do.
So I'm going to address
her. And that's a lie. I'm sorry, but
okay, go ahead. Keep no. Whoever muted her, stop muting her.
Mods, please quit muting her. I'm not gonna I know it's not B. I don't know who it is, but it's already been said. Quit muting her.
I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna let him deny reality.
I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna sit there and address you. I'm gonna sit there and address you personally. Since you decided to personally.
Show me how women are gonna maintain critical infrastructure without men. Dummy.
No. Hold on. I want you to prove to me that my dad wasn't in my life and that my dad didn't do anything for me. Go ahead, prove that for me.
I can tell.
You want to personally attack me?
You want to personally
attack me?
Like
so go ahead.
Beta male.
Really?
Can women maintain critical infrastructure? No, they cannot. If it weren't for men, they would all die.
They've been doing it too.
They wouldn't be able to sanitize
listen,
water.
Listen, it's not 2% of women. It's not 2% of women, dude. That's wrong.
It's 2%. It's 2% of women in the field.
Right, but they're not actually.
Which is not enough.
98% men.
It's not actually 2% working in that field, though. You're wrong. Let me explain.
In your scenario, when well, no, Andrew, because the thing is right now your wife decided to.
Everyone would die.
So
you would not have enough clean water. You would not have enough manufacturing of critical supplies.
So the thing is, in your scenario, if women were over here giving birth and there's only women, then they would still do it.
This is not even something you can argue. Just literally.
The thing is you're giving off a scenario where only women are somehow giving birth to only women and their children are only women. They will find a way. They will do it.
So then they would need men. So then they would need men.
No, they wouldn't need men.
Well, then why would you?
In her scenario, where women are giving birth to more women, and that's all that's happening. It's a long line of women.
Yeah.
Then women will still end up doing it.
No, they can't. But they can't.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't, and we can demonstrate it. We can demonstrate it.
They've been doing it.
They haven't been doing it yet.
About the woman in the
no, listen, this is incorrect.
In all of human history, this has never happened, and it's never existed. There's never.
What do you mean in all throughout human history? There have been matriarchal societies.
No, there's never been a single matriarchal society. No, there hasn't. Never.
Yes, there has. I have a list of
them. Yeah, name them.
Okay, bring it up.
Give me a minute.
Because, like I said, wrote a book on this and did 2.5 years of research looking for a matriarchal society, and it has never existed. There have been a couple that have been tried to be off as real, and they turned out to be archaeological forgeries. They were not. They were.
So you're saying the Hopi
to,
Native Americans were forgeries?
They were not matriarchal.
They were matriarchal.
They were not.
No, they weren't. No native societies are matriarchal. None. There are some sociologists who will try to put them off as such because they'll say, well, these women, they have this societal standing that kind of puts them somewhere with men, but in those societies, the men are
you're also mistaking. He's mistaking, honey. He's mistaking matriarchal for matrilineal. They go back through their past, like Jewish groups do, and they look at their ancestry through a matrilineal lineage. That's not a matriarchal society, dude.
Exactly, where women rule over men. Patriarchy means rule by the father.
No.
There's never been rule by the mother.
The Hopi, dude, the Hopi had Indian chiefs. The Indian chiefs of the Hopi were men, not women, dude. That's the opposite of matriarchal. That's patriarchal.
Matriarchy would mean rule by the female.
Go ahead, read it. Read it.
It says right here. The
says right there where?
Known for their independent. This is coming from study.com.
Study.com. Is going to and you're going to tell us that they were. Go ahead, read that they were matriarchal. That word's not going to appear ever.
It says right here that.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Known for their independent Pueblo cultures, also exhibited matriarchal features, with women playing a vital role in communal life and governance.
Matriarchal features were what? Role. What were the matriarchal features?
Role. They were vital role.
What were the matriarchal features, sir?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. The computer's slow, like I said before.
He's going to find out.
Let's see. Traditionally, Hopi women were responsible for the home and family. And they made decisions about agricultural and planting decisions because, women always have done that, with planting gardens, especially on soil. Men, on the other hand, were responsible for the politics, agriculture, and war, with the men being the political leaders and warriors. Boy, that sounds really matriarchal, doesn't it? Whew. What a matriarchy that is.